What's up, paddling world? As a corporate marketing video producer, I travel quite a bit. Airports, hotels, and rental cars have become a way of life. With every day being different, traveling makes the work week go by faster, and that's a good thing. My mind is always set on the weekends, as I'm always looking forward to being home with my wife, kids, and even grandkids now. If I'm lucky, I'll even get to do some time in the kayak. This weekend, I'm planning to paddle down Hickory Creek, which feeds the western side of Lake Lewisville in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Come with me as I take you down this scenic 7-mile paddling trail. It's deep and wide, with a good amount of forestation lining the banks. Some say parts of this paddling trail are even haunted, but more on that later. We will make a stop at an island along the way, then paddle on to our takeout point at Pilot Knoll Park. I'm going to put in off Old Alton Road at the bridge that crosses over Hickory Creek. The exact address for this location is at the top of the screen. Thanks to GPS and smartphones, giving directions has never been easier. It's a little tricky launching, but not too bad. Just walk down the graffitied concrete embankment and launch from the sand and bouldered shoreline. It's probably best to launch here with a friend who can help you carry down to the water. Once in the water, you're going to paddle east under Old Alton Bridge. You have another option, which is to put in at Pilot Knoll Park down on Lake Lewisville. From this point, you can paddle approximately 7 miles up Hickory Creek to Old Alton Bridge. This park offers nice campsites as well. For a day pass for non-residents, it'll cost you $10 at the automated attendant. When I launch here, I like to launch from the day use area because of its large amounts of easily accessible and clean shoreline. Obviously, if you are planning on paddling up to Old Alton Bridge and back, you're looking at around a 14 to 15 mile paddle. Pack a lunch and some drinks and make a day of it. Old Alton Bridge is a historic iron truss bridge connecting the cities of Denton, Texas and Copper Canyon, Texas. Built in 1884, it originally carried horses and later automobiles over Hickory Creek. The bridge takes its name from the abandoned city of Alton, which between 1850 and 1856 was the seat of Denton County. Today, it is a popular location for nature enthusiasts, photographers, and paranormal investigators. Locally, the bridge is known as Goatman's Bridge. Legend tells of a goat farmer who moved his family to a residence just north of the bridge. A few years later, Oscar Washburn was known as a dependable and honest businessman. North Texans endearingly began to call him the Goatman. But the success of a black man was still unwelcome to many, and Klansmen turned to violence after he displayed a sign on Alton Bridge, "This way to the Goatmans." In August 1938, Klansmen crossed the bridge and kidnapped Washburn from his family. They hung a noose on Old Alton Bridge, and after securing it around his neck, threw him over the side. When they looked over to see if he had died, the noose was empty. Locals warn that if you cross the bridge at night without headlights, you will be met on the other side by the Goatman. There are also strange sightings in the woods around the bridge. I was thinking, this paddle would be cool to do in October as Halloween approaches. When we were launching, we even saw a ripped-in-half Ouija board in the bushes, which kind of led credibility as to what others might think about this site's possible hauntedness. As I was paddling downriver away from the bridge, I couldn't help but think about what other creepiness awaits us on this paddle. Well, stay tuned, but for now, enjoy the beautiful serene surroundings as we head downriver. I'm always amazed how remote these suburban creeks that feed our lakes feel. I mean, you don't hear much in the way of road traffic. The treed shorelines are free from building, Because these creeks are usually surrounded by lowland floodplains that are designed to flood in times of heavy flooding rains. Luckily, that only happens every 5 years or so here in North Texas. You will see boat fishermen traffic on Hickory Creek from time to time. They tell me the submerged structure that flushes through during times of flooding eventually gets waterlogged, then sinks to the bottom to create habitat for crappie, catfish, and bass. Jet skis like to come here as well. They tend to be going pretty fast, but you can hear them coming a mile away. Just stay near the shoreline when you hear them approaching. Every jet skier I've seen has been respectful and slows down the minute they see me. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the local DFW groups that paddlers can join to get involved in organized group paddle day and overnight trips. Here are some of the local groups that I have found: the Dallas Down River Club and the DFW Paddle Sports Club. They each have their own websites and URLs that you see listed here. On Facebook, check out my page, Kayak Cliff. Also DFW Kayakers, DFW Kayak Fishing, and DFW Kayakers for Christ. I see a lot of posts on different forums where people ask, do you paddle by yourself or with a group? Well, for me, I usually paddle by myself simply because when the weather, wind, and my time schedule are right, I can't really rely on there being somebody to go with me. Also, since kayaking is part of my workout routine, I have to hit the water when I can. When you kayak with a buddy, though, you always have someone to share a cold beverage with. Hey, I want to do a quick PSA. Whether solo or with a group, please make sure to wear your life jacket or PFD. For years, I did not because they were uncomfortable. That's what I thought until I bought these NRS kayaking life jackets. These are cut and designed for kayakers and are extremely comfortable. They are even comfortable in the summer months, and I live in Texas. Well, we are nearing the end of Hickory Creek, where it spills into Lake Lewisville. Often creeks, marshes, and rivers have offshoots that, when in a kayak, are difficult to tell which is the correct way to go. I always like to have my smartphone with me so I can see on the GPS map exactly where I am and which turn I need to take to stay on track. Here's the Highway 2499 bridge, which marks the end of Hickory Creek. Once we cross underneath the bridge, we will set course to follow the right or southern shoreline, which will take us to Pilot Knoll Park, our takeout point. But first, I have one more stop on the way to Pilot Knoll, and that is a nice little island in the middle of this portion of the lake. It has an accessible shoreline at different points around it, as well as plentiful trees and paths for hiking, exploring, and camping. I don't see a name for the island, so I'm going to call it Cross Island. You'll see why in a minute. I'm going to pass between the island and the southern shoreline on my right, then pull up on shore on the southeastern end of Cross Island. I think this is the most accessible point. I've always liked to pull up and explore islands, especially those that don't get much traffic. They are fun to hike through and explore. In the summer months, depending on a suitable shoreline, they can be great places to picnic, swim, and even camp. This portion of the island has some nice, wide open trails for hiking up and through the canopy. I could just see hanging a hammock between some of these trees. Once up in the middle of the island, I could also see something that looked a little out of place, so I decided to give it a look. What in the world is a cross and 6-foot-long grave doing in the middle of this island? It can't be a person, can it? Maybe somebody's dog, or even a joke? Well, it kind of creeped me out, so I figured out I would hightail it back to the shoreline and take in the sunset off to the southwest. After leaving the island, I head towards Pilot Knoll and follow the campground peninsula, then round its tip and cut over to Pilot Knoll day use area, where there are great shorelines to launch and take out from. If you like these videos, please follow me on Facebook at Kayak Cliff, and follow me on YouTube at Kayak Cliff as well. In 2018, I will be shooting kayak trail videos in Texas, Florida, and beyond. Plus, I will take you kayak camping, host product reviews, as well as other things kayak related. You all be safe out there, and remember my motto, to get out there, let's make paddling as common as pedaling.